Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's now Friday, what is it? It's the 15th September, and I'm going to try and sneak out of here if anyone's going to be kind and let me out. Are you? No, invisible. See if this one's going to let me out. Yeah. Thank you, missus. You're all in a big queue anyway. So, a bit of a change of scenery this week. Just been dropping the boss off to get his pick up his car, which has been in for service at the garage there. So we're in Bailiff Bridge at the moment, so just outside Brig House, and we're going to head through Bailiff Bridge and then up towards Bradford and cut across up to where I live in Bradford. So, bit of a change of route. Probably going to be. Well, it might be shorter, but looking at this traffic, it may not be shorter. I don't know. What time are we on? We are on 10 to 6, so not really getting any earlier, are we, for the trip home? But what the hey. So, this week, what's been happening? An Audi speeds around the corner. There's a surprise. And other things. Work-wise has not been too bad. It's been steady away and fairly busy. Monday had a lot of parcels work on there. Steadied out into the middle of the week. So the start of the week was pretty busy and it got a bit steadier. But on the whole, it's not been bad really work-wise. I mean, we had enough on. Been busy enough anyway. And yeah, last weekend didn't get a great deal done last week. I mean, the weather has gone terrible, really. Loads of rain. Of course, we did have, well, I mean, we had some wind Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. I mean, they had forecast it to be really severe, 70-mile-an-hour gales. Don't think it sounded that bad. I did drop the sides of the trampoline down just to try and make sure that didn't go floating off into the sunset, and of course it's got so much, I mean, breeze blocks. I've got commercial bouncy castle hooks nailed through and into the to hold it down. Got the 4 ground screws with straps holding it down. I've got 4, I think they're about 12 kilos each, sash windows counterweight. So one of those wrapped on each of the legs as well. There's enough weight on there that it shouldn't go anywhere. So yeah, I dropped the sides down and took the basketball hoop off just because it's supposed to be a bit windy. But it didn't. I was more concerned, funny enough, actually, about the roof we put on the big castle fort thing that this is building in the garden for the youngest lad. Because it kind of occurred to me I'd not put so much. I mean, it's got it's braced on all 4 corners. It's attached and screwed well in. But it just sort of occurred to me that the wind, if it got under that triangular roof bit, would give a good tug at it. That's for sure. So I was wondering if there was enough support there. I might have to add some more pieces of wood and screws on to try and just keep it in place, make sure it doesn't disappear anywhere. Oh, I forgot to turn my thingy off. Get ready for the whoosh. Whoosh. My speed camera thing. I only put it on just so you can hear that there's loads of speed cameras up there, because there is loads of speed cameras up here. I turned it off because I was stuck in some traffic and it was picking something up, and I wasn't going anywhere, but it was just beeping all the time and it was getting rather annoying, so I turned it off just for that brief bit. The only trouble is, if you turn it off, you don't remember to turn it back on again, do you? So that's very awkward. So we survived the wind. It wasn't too windy in the end. The Apple event was Tuesday night. I completely and utterly missed it, to be honest. Had something on, so I wasn't in to watch it, and I've not had a chance to watch since, and I'm not sure I'll actually get to watch the event back. I'll just probably not get a chance to, one way or the other. So totally and utterly sort of missed the boat on that. Was, of course, the main thing, the big news was the new iPhones. And Apple have brought us not one, not two, but 3 handsets this year. Oh, they're so generous.
Speed trap limit 30 miles per hour.
The only problem being is the iPhone 8, sorry, the iPhone X, which is technically the iPhone 10, isn't it? Is going to be well over £1,000. Wow, that is some expensive handset. And they've got some really weird storage options as well. Is it 64 and 256? It's a bit of an oddball one, that one. You know, 128 would be pretty good, and 256, but 64 is a bit of an odd one. You know, when they've got the capability of 128 gigabytes or 256, so I think give those to. So, I mean, it's no doubt the iPhone X is going to be an incredible handset. There's some benchmark scores already up for it, and it performs the same as a 13-inch MacBook Pro on Geekbench stores. It's a phone, and of course it completely demolishes any Android handset nearby. I mean, it's more than double the speed capacity of anything else, which is great, but do you really need that in a phone? Does anyone? I don't know. I mean, they'll do well out of it, of course, because it's, you know, it's going to be the premium handset. Everyone's going to want to have it because it's the premium one. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're going to think you're going to get the use out of it, it's certainly going to be worth the money. I'm not sure it would be. Personally, I think the best thing to do, you know, now everyone's buying 8s or the 8 Plus, which of course are the standard fare equivalents, with some little bumps compared to the 7 and 7 Plus. Personally, you know, you're going to find a lot of people selling their old handsets, perfectly good, 7 or a 7 Plus, get it picked up, pretty cheap on eBay, and the bus is in not the bus lane, and he's making us stop for him to go through the bus lane, but he's not in the bus lane. But the bike's in the bus lane, the bike's getting to the bike's getting to go through. The bus that's supposed to be in that lane and should be going through, he's now got a chip that activates that. He's not gone into the bus lane like a complete dork. That made us all stop for him, even though he's not there. And the bike's got to go on his own. What a thing. So, yeah, get a 7 or 7 Plus picked up cheap. Job's a good one. I'm now really quite pleased that I did eventually, you know, when iOS 11 first came out and I tried it on my original 6 Plus, wasn't so great an experience, and at the same time I was struggling a bit with the 6 Plus because it was getting a bit dogged. Went and, you know, picked up a reasonably priced 7 Plus, which this has still got warranty, this 7 Plus, until next March with Apple. So, you know, it wasn't like one of the original launch ones or anything. It got a decent amount of Apple warranty with it as well. I picked that up at a good price, and it's a great phone. I love it. Absolutely zero reason why I'd think of getting the 8 Plus, because there's just a few bits again of updates that probably won't really make a huge amount of difference to me. Maybe it wouldn't be so wobbly on the camera there. I'm going over bumpy bits at the moment, so it's always going to be wobbly over bumps, isn't it? But you know, other than that, yeah, I just don't see there's anything sort of greatly there. New watches, they've got a watch that has a SIM card built in. Great, so if you don't have your phone, then you can still use your watch. Makes sense in a kind of way, again, if you're in the habit of not having your watch or your phone near your watch, where else. I mean, it's great for surfing, swimming, stuff like that, beaches, all sorts of that, maybe lots of running, exercise, workout sort of thing. Watch is a bit of a fitness thing, isn't it? So that's kind of the market they're going for, you know. Just leave your phone at home, just take your watch and your wireless AirPods, and yeah, you can go for your run, listen to your music through your watch, make phone calls because it's got this SIM card in. So it's a good theory. I mean, if it runs okay, and the battery lasts. I mean, it just depends on how much battery it munches while it's doing sort of calls and things. But oh, and another queue to the queue. So yeah, on the whole, I've not watched any of the Apple event, but through the wonders of Twitter, I followed it anyway, and sort of followed back everyone's sort of comments and feelings about the various releases. So, I mean, that wasn't so bad. Just reading through Twitter bits and pieces and picking up odds and ends. So, they are. I didn't watch the event. The iPhone X, it's, you know, just showed. Really, it's Apple just showing how much ahead of the game they are, that they can produce a handset that ridiculously powerful. But does anyone really need all that power?
K-band radar
Power. But you know, they will sell them. They'll sell a lot of them for the people who obviously have got money to burn and need to show off their amazing handset. Oh, gotta admit, the other thing I didn't like it, and a lot of people commented about, I don't like. It's got the iPhone X has got this bezel-less display, except it does have a bezel at the top middle, which had been affectionately called a notch. But it's just a bit odd, you know, that they could have either just kept all that top bit as blacked out, or I don't really know. I mean, there must be a reason why they couldn't have that as a screen and just have the little holes for the earpiece and the various sensors as part of the screen. So you maybe had little black lines and dots there, but maybe then that would look a bit weird because it looked like you got dead pixels or something, which would be, you know, that'd be a bit. See, now he's going to turn, so it's going to bring this red one right on top of me. I don't fancy getting my back end run into, so I'll wait a bit longer. We've got a big gap coming now. Well, if these lot get moving on this one, because he's turning as well. It doesn't help. Alright, we're going. So that was it, really. Apple event, iPhone X, amazing. It's got a notch. Everyone's a bit, why have you put a notch there? It's an incredible bit of hardware. They're going to get bumped a lot. Sorry about that. It's going to be a fantastic thing. Whatever. Next year it'll be even better, and might be, you know, that they'll refine the odd ends of problems and whatever else. So there was a big thing I saw about, you know, because it made a lot of it on Twitter. Plenty of people picked up on it. The Face ID thing had a bit of a wobble when they were trying to demo it on stage, and it turns out what happened with that was, just prior to the, you know, the event and backstage, it was being handled by lots of Apple executives prior to it being used. And of course, every time someone picked it up, and it works on a raise to wake sort of system. So it's the same thing. My 7 Plus now, if I lift it up, it wakes the screen and you can see notifications or whatever. It's just raised to wake. Well, it does that with the Face ID. So as soon as you lift it up, it starts scanning to Face ID. Now the thing is, if it scans and it doesn't find the correct face, it gives like a bad mark strike, and I think it's a case of 5 strikes and it locks it down and you have to enter your passcode manually, you know. So if someone's trying to like hack into your phone by using their face, then you know, it will lock itself down. And I believe also you can press the lock button 5 times or something to disable the Face ID. So, you know, if someone was trying to force you to unlock your phone with your face, I want to look in your phone, just stick it in front of your face, then you can press that 5 times and it'll automatically lock it down, and you need to enter a passcode instead to get into it, so deactivates the Face ID. But yeah, what had happened at the event, obviously it had been constantly trying. All these people who were picking it up and putting it down and moving it about, making sure it was charged and polishing it and making it look pretty. Every time they were lifting it up, it was trying to identify them. And as they weren't, Craig, who was doing the demo, and obviously his face was tracked into it, as they weren't him, it put a strike on. And of course, what effectively happened is the phone did what it's meant to do, and it locked them out of it. So not great for a demonstration, but that is the sort of thing, that's what it's supposed to do. it's designed for that. You know, so I mean, as far as demonstration, if anyone had known that was going to happen, then they could have put the passcode back in again to reactivate it before the actual event. But you know, it is interesting that it happened. I don't think it makes a lot of difference to people, but there you are. So YouTube subs have taken a bit of a dive this week, I'm afraid. I've not really had that much chance. I have spent an inordinate amount of time watching the Paul brothers. That is Jake Paul and Logan Paul. So Logan Paul, Mavericks, and Jake Paul, keep dabbing on those haters. Yeah, the two brothers, both have managed to hit 10 million subscribers on YouTube by being super lit. And yeah, it's been watching loads of them because the youngest lads discovered them and finds it hugely entertaining. So we've been watching lots of both of them. It's interesting stuff, you know. They do. You can see why they've got all those views. I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do this because I can't see chuff all. Bit of a. It rains, sun, rain, sun, sun, rain, sun, rain, sun. He has no idea what it's going to do. End of the summer. I keep saying it's going to be an Indian summer in September. We're running out of September for it to be an Indian summer in, to be perfectly honest. So I'm not really convinced about that either. Just do that. You're not going to turn off, are you? Right. So yeah, I've been watching the Jake Paul, Logan Paul. And yeah, they do some good stuff, to be honest. It's interesting. Let me just make, yeah, no, then that's not, okay, well, whatever. Right, let's do Mr. Nellis's words of wisdom. Sorry, Mr. Nellis, that I haven't gone past it. He was going to be at the Bottomley Arms next to Gigi's around 6 o'clock with his grandparents, Mr. Nellis said, and I was going to keep an eye out for him, but I didn't go that way in the end because of the car thing taking longer than was expected, so we had to do it on the way home. Right, Richard Nellis's words of wisdom, things to talk about. He was singing Sex Bomb, You're My Sex Bomb by Tom Jones. I hope you're singing it better than that, Richard. Goodbye, Christopher Robin. I'm sure I don't know what that's about, actually, but we'll just, you know, we'll wing it. The new £10 note with Jane Austen to replace Chuck Darwin. Fair enough. Roald Dahl on Wednesday the 13th September to mark the author's 101st birthday since he died in 1990. The story of Only Fools and Horses on Gold. Only Fools and Horses was a classic. Absolute classic. Loved Only Fools and Horses. He's been to the Imperial War Museum of a Pennine Magpie trip, but there was no sign of Mr. Kyle outside the ITV studio on Friday last week. Classic FM live at the Royal Albert Hall on the 19th of September, which will have film music such as Pirates of the Caribbean, Dances with Wolves, etc. He might go to Lightcliff Tea Rooms for lunch with his grandma and granddad Marsden on Saturday afternoon. So, well, if you do, let us know what the food's like at Lightcliff Tea Rooms, and do have some coffee there, so they'll buy some more from me. Right, that's it for me this week. Not very exciting week. Yeah, you know, just usual stuff, really. Same old, same old. So, I will catch you in next week's coffee vlog. Have a good weekend and week next week. Okay. See ya.